I opened the door slowly, thinking I'd surprise Lena. My heart was beating fast, but I never expected to hear laughter, her laughter. Not just her laugh, but the sound of her with him. Adrian Voss. I froze. The sound hit me like a punch to the stomach. Ethan, come in. Lena called, her voice sweet but mocking. I stepped inside, trying to sound calm. Lena, what's going on here? Adrian smiled, too casual, too smug. Hey, Ethan. Didn't expect to see you. You didn't tell me you'd have company, I said, my voice shaking. Lena stepped closer, her eyes cold. Ethan, you're too weak. I need someone who can give me the life I want. Someone ambitious, powerful, not you. I blinked. My hands went numb. What are you saying? She laughed softly. I'm saying, we're done. Don't look so surprised. You've been holding me back for years. I need more than you can give. I felt a sharp pain in my chest. My voice trembled. Holding you back? Lena. I love you. I've always. You love me? Love doesn't pay the bills, Ethan. Love doesn't get you power. Love doesn't matter. I couldn't move. My legs felt like lead. And Adrian, you? I forced the words out. He shrugged. I'm just helping her get what she deserves. My world tilted. I wanted to scream, to throw something, to run. But my body betrayed me. I could barely breathe. I trusted you, I said, choking. Lena's lips curled into a small, cruel smile. And that was your first mistake. I backed toward the door, my head spinning. Maya, call Maya, I whispered. The door opened before I could move, and there she was, my best friend, Maya Reed. Her eyes went wide when she saw my face. Ethan? What happened? I shook my head, unable to speak. The words stuck in my throat. She stepped closer, grabbing my hands. Talk to me. Tell me everything. I tried. It's Lena. She's with him. She said I'm weak. She left me, for him. Maya's mouth fell open. No. Ethan, you don't deserve this. She pulled me into a hug. I let her, but the betrayal burned inside me. I could feel tears threatening, but I couldn't let them fall. I pulled back slightly. I don't even know who I am anymore. How could she? Maya held my shoulders tightly. You're still you. She's the one who lost something real. Her words didn't make it hurt less. They made it worse. The truth sank in. Lena had never loved me the way I thought she did. Every memory, every promise, every plan we made, it was all a lie. I clenched my fists, trying to stop myself from shaking. I can't stay here. I need air. Maya nodded. Come on, we'll get out of here. You're not alone. I'm not letting her win. As I stepped outside, the night air hit my face. Cold, sharp, and somehow, alive. Something inside me shifted, deep down. This pain, this betrayal, it wasn't the end. It was a spark. And I promised myself, silently, that one day, she would regret breaking me. That I didn't know how many days passed after Lena shattered me. I only remember the silence. The dark. The feeling of waking up with my heart already breaking. I kept hearing her voice in my head, you're too weak, Ethan. Every night felt endless. I stayed in bed until afternoon. I barely ate. I barely moved. When my phone rang, I ignored it. When someone knocked, I pretended I wasn't home. I didn't want anyone to see what I had become. One morning, I heard my door burst open. Ethan. I swear to God, get up. Lucas shouted. I groaned. Go away. No. I'm done watching you die like this. He turned on the lights, and I winced. Look at yourself, man. This isn't you. I sat up slowly, rubbing my face. What do you want me to do? Pretend I'm fine? Lucas crossed his arms. I want you to breathe. Eat. Shower. Live. Anything is better than what you're doing now. I shook my head. I can't. I keep hearing her. Every time I close my eyes, she's there. So talk to someone, he said. I already made you an appointment. With who? Olivia Cross. Therapist. And you're going today. I laughed bitterly. Therapy? You think that will fix this? I think talking to someone who isn't drowning with you might help. I didn't have the strength to argue. I let him drag me out of the house. When I walked into Olivia's office, she looked up and gave me a gentle smile. Ethan? Come in. Sit wherever you like. I sank into the chair opposite her. I don't even know why I'm here. That's okay, she said softly. Why don't you start with how you feel? How I feel? I scoffed. I feel like I'm falling apart. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't think. Everything hurts. And I keep hearing her say I'm weak. Olivia nodded slowly. What she said hurt you deeply. Anyone would break under that kind of betrayal. I clenched my fists. Why wasn't I enough? What was so wrong with me? Ethan, she said gently, her choices reflect her character, not your worth. I swallowed hard. Then why does it feel like I'm the failure? Because you cared. And caring makes the pain sharp. But pain can also push you to change. Change? I whispered. Into what? A stronger version of yourself, she said. Destruction can be the beginning of rebirth. Her words sat in my chest like a tiny spark. I don't know if I can do that. You don't have to do it all today, she replied. Just don't give up on yourself. When the session ended, I stepped outside feeling, not better, but less lost. Lucas waited by his car. So? Did she help? A little, I admitted. She made me realize I'm not broken forever. Good, he said. Because I'm not letting you sink again. I looked at him. Lucas, thanks. I don't know what I'd do without you. He shrugged. Probably starve in bed until Maya kicks your door down. I almost smiled. She would, wouldn't she? She definitely would. We drove without speaking. I stared out the window, feeling the cold air hit my face. For the first time since Lena left, I felt something other than pain, something small, something distant, but real. Maybe Olivia was right. Maybe destruction wasn't the end of me. When Lucas dropped me off, he leaned out the window. Ethan, you're going to rise again. I know it. I didn't believe it yet. But as I walked inside, I whispered to myself, maybe I can. And for the first time, I wanted to try. I stared into the mirror that night and didn't recognize the man staring back. My eyes were hollow, my jaw tight. Is this really me? I whispered. My own voice sounded foreign. A voice in my head answered before anyone else could. You can stay like this, or change. I shook my head. Change? Yeah, easier said than done. I sat on the edge of the bed, fists clenched. Do I really have the guts to leave everything behind? Job, apartment, friends. I paused. No. I have to. I can't be this broken man anymore. I won't be. The next morning, I told Lucas my plan. I'm leaving. I need to start over, somewhere else. He frowned. Leave? What about your apartment, your stuff, your life here? Gone, I said sharply. I need a fresh start. I can't carry this anymore. Lena's shadow is everywhere. Lucas ran a hand through his hair. You're serious? Completely, I said. I have to do this. Or I'll never be myself again. He nodded slowly. Then I get it. Just, don't disappear completely, okay? I won't. I promise, I said, forcing a small smile. I packed my essentials and boarded a flight the next day. Alone, I felt fear creeping in. What am I doing? I muttered to myself. This could be a huge mistake. The city I arrived in was strange, cold, but also full of possibilities. I called Dr. Samuel Price the next morning. Samuel, it's Ethan, I said nervously. I need your guidance. Ethan, he replied, his voice sharp. About time. You've been running long enough. You want results, you'll work for them. No excuses. I'm ready, I said, trying to sound confident. Good. Then start today. I want a schedule. Workouts, reading, learning, every day. You're rebuilding yourself from scratch. I swallowed. Every day, got it. Then don't waste a second, he snapped. I hung up and felt a strange thrill. For the first time in months, I felt like I was in control. I started small, mornings filled with running and meditation, afternoons with coding lessons, evenings with business books and investment studies. I called Noah Hale online for help with tech projects. I need someone smart and reliable, I said. I'm in, he replied. Let's build something strong. I worked tirelessly, sometimes until midnight. I can't stop. I won't stop, I whispered to myself, sweating over lines of code. Samuel's words kept echoing. No excuses. Rebuild yourself. I hit walls, of course. Frustration screamed inside me. Why is this so hard? I shouted one night. Because you're worth it. Samuel barked over the phone. Stop whining and prove it. I laughed bitterly. Worth it? Yeah, I'll show them all. I'll show Lena. I'll show myself. Weeks turned into months. Every day, I saw a little change. Confidence, focus, determination. I was no longer the man she discarded. One night, I stood in front of a mirror again. My eyes weren't hollow anymore. They burned with purpose. This is me, I said quietly. This is the man who will not fail. Not again. And in that reflection, I made a silent vow. One day, she'll see what she lost. And it will be too late. I wasn't broken anymore. I was rising that I woke up before sunrise, the quiet of the city pressing in around me. Another day, I muttered, another step. I met Samuel in the small gym he'd recommended. You're late, he barked. I woke up early, I said, panting from my warm-up. Early isn't enough. Discipline is everything, he said, adjusting his watch. Push harder. I nodded, pushing myself through squats, push-ups, pull-ups. My arms burned, but I didn't stop. I won't stop, I muttered. Samuel grunted. Good. Mental toughness starts with the body. Later, I sat across from Olivia in a quiet room filled with sunlight. Ethan, she said gently, you're carrying too much guilt. Let it go. I can't, I said. Every time I think of Lena, the anger comes back. Then use it, she said. Channel it into action, not despair. I nodded, feeling the truth in her words. I will. I have to. The next week, I met Noah Hale in a small cafe. He was quiet, almost hidden behind a laptop. You're Ethan Cole? He asked without looking up. Yes, I said, extending my hand. He shook it briefly. I've heard of your plans. Ambitious. Smart. I need someone I can trust, I said. Someone who's as focused as I am. Noah smiled faintly. You found me. Let's build something meaningful. Back at my apartment, I studied business, coding, and investment strategies. This is harder than I thought, I muttered, staring at my screen. You think easy makes greatness. Samuel's voice was stern over the call. Push harder. Stop whining. I'm trying, I said, but a smile crept onto my face. I want this too much to fail. Evenings were filled with planning and long discussions with Noah. If we do this right, we could disrupt the industry, he said quietly. I leaned forward. Exactly. We need to be smarter, faster, stronger. Some nights, Lena's face flashed in my mind. I shook it away. Not now. Focus, I whispered. Olivia reminded me gently, acknowledging her is fine, Ethan. Dwelling isn't. I nodded. I'm learning that. Slowly. Weeks passed, and I could feel the change. My confidence grew, quiet but steady. I felt sharper, more in control. Every morning run, every line of code, every business plan I reviewed, it all added up. Samuel called one morning. You're doing well, but complacency kills. Push yourself further. I will, I said. No holding back. Noah leaned back in his chair one night. You're different than the man you were before. I have to be, I said. I can't be the man she left behind. I won't. A moment of silence passed. Then let's make this work, Noah said, eyes glinting. I smiled. We will. Piece by piece, we rebuild everything. Late at night, alone, I looked in the mirror. My jaw was firm, my eyes clear. I'm stronger now, I whispered to myself. Not just for me, but for everything I've lost, and everything I'm going to take back. And for the first time in months, I felt a spark I hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Power. Control. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was becoming unstoppable. Lucas leaned back in his chair, grinning. You ready for this? I adjusted my jacket. As ready as I'll ever be. He nodded. These investors don't play games. Impress them, or they walk. I took a deep breath and stepped into the conference room. Faces turned toward me. Some curious, some skeptical. I ignored them all. Lucas whispered, just remember what we practiced. I nodded again. I've got this. The first investor spoke, his tone sharp. So, Mr. Cole, what exactly is your plan? I met his gaze. We're building a platform that connects emerging technologies with real-world applications. It's scalable, adaptable, and designed for tomorrow's market. A woman across the table raised an eyebrow. And your team? Noah Hale leads the tech side. He's brilliant. Lucas Grant and I handle strategy and operations. I handle execution and vision, I said firmly. Another investor frowned. Execution is easy to say. Prove it. I leaned forward. We've already developed a prototype. Noah will demonstrate it today. Noah stepped up quietly, nodding at me. Watch this, he said. The demo ran flawlessly. Screens lit up with graphs, applications, and projections. Impressive, one investor muttered. I told you, I whispered to Lucas, smiling slightly. The questions continued, sharp and demanding. Revenue model? Target market? Risk mitigation? I answered confidently. Our revenue model is subscription-based. Market analysis shows rapid growth. Risk mitigation includes diversified investments and agile technology updates. They exchanged glances. I saw their skepticism fading. After the meeting, Lucas clapped me on the back. You crushed it. I just spoke the truth, I said, though pride warmed me. Marcus Reed appeared the next day, casually leaning against the doorway. I watched you in there, he said. You've got potential, Ethan. But potential without guidance is wasted. I nodded. I want guidance. He smirked. Good. I can teach you strategy, negotiation, and influence. Follow my advice, and you'll grow faster than you think. I'm ready, I said, meeting his eyes. Days turned into weeks. Our startup gained traction. Investors called on their own. Media requests started coming in. I led meetings confidently now. I made decisions without hesitation. One afternoon, Lucas said, people notice the change in you. They're listening when you talk. I shrugged. It feels different. Empowering. Marcus leaned forward in a strategy session. You're still calm, observant, but there's fire now. That's what sets you apart from the rest. I nodded. I've learned. I've watched. I've been broken, and now I'm not. Noah laughed during one long coding session. You're not the quiet guy I met months ago. You actually command attention now. I guess people respect results more than words, I said, smirking. At night, when I walked alone through my apartment, I thought of Lena. I didn't feel anger like before. Not fully. Just a quiet determination. She had left me once. She thought I'd stay broken. But look at me now. Confident. Focused. Rising. I whispered to myself, they'll see, eventually. Everyone will see what they lost. Lucas popped his head in. You're still going to sleep? I shook my head. Sleep can wait. We've got work to do. He laughed. Always the workaholic. I smiled faintly. Some of us have a lot to prove. The days blurred with meetings, strategy sessions, and planning. Every step, every decision, built something bigger than me. And I felt it, slowly but undeniably. I was no longer the man who walked in broken months ago. I was someone else now. Someone people listened to. Someone who was rising. And that rising, it was only the beginning that I walked into the office that morning and felt a rush I hadn't expected. Investors were already waiting. Phones were ringing, emails flooding in. Our company was no longer a secret. Lucas leaned against the wall. Looks like people finally noticed. I can see that, I said, scanning the room. A sharp voice interrupted. Mr. Cole? Are you available for a call? I nodded. Yes, connect me. Minutes later, I was negotiating terms with a potential partner overseas. We can offer a 20% stake with full access to the technology, I said firmly. There was a pause. That's unusually generous, the voice said. I like fair deals, I replied. Long-term relationships matter more than quick wins. The call ended, and I rubbed my temples. Lucas grinned. You've changed. You command respect now. I had to, I muttered. No more hesitation. Later, Maya called. Ethan, you look different. Confident. Powerful. I smiled faintly. It's been a long journey. I finally see you becoming who you were meant to be, she said softly. Her words warmed me, but I felt a twinge in my chest. Lena's face flashed in my mind. I shook it away. Thanks, Maya. That means a lot. During a meeting with investors, I led the discussion. We project 300% growth this quarter, I said. Our strategy focuses on innovation and market adaptability. Questions? One investor raised an eyebrow. And risk? Mitigated, I replied firmly. Diversification, careful planning, and a strong team. I won't let us fail. Noah leaned over. You've got a presence now. People listen. I've learned to make them, I whispered. Later, I traveled to another city for a conference. Business talks, dinners, networking. Every interaction taught me something new: power, influence, subtlety. I changed my wardrobe, my hairstyle, my tone. Every detail mattered. At the hotel, Marcus Reed appeared unexpectedly. I've been watching your progress, he said. Impressive. But don't let success make you complacent. I won't, I replied. I've seen where failure comes from. I won't repeat it. You're becoming someone else entirely, he said. Someone who doesn't bend, doesn't falter. I felt a pang of pride, quickly masked. I'm just doing what I have to do. Back home, I sat in my apartment, staring at the skyline. The city felt alive, full of opportunity. Wealth, influence, power. I was touching a life I had only dreamed of months ago. Lucas poked his head in. Dinner? I'll join, I said. I just need a minute. I thought about Lena again. I didn't chase revenge, yet, but the memory of her betrayal lingered. I clenched my fists. Soon, you'll see, I muttered. Maya appeared, sitting beside me. You're different now, she said. The fire in your eyes, it's unstoppable. I gave her a small smile. It's not just fire. It's focus. Everything I do now has a purpose. Just, don't lose yourself in it, she said softly. I won't, I replied. I've learned what matters. Night fell, and I looked at my reflection in the window. I was stronger, sharper, unrecognizable from the broken man who had once begged for love. Impossible isn't a word I use anymore, I whispered. I traced the city lights with my eyes, imagining all the possibilities ahead. The world was mine to navigate, mine to conquer. And deep inside, I knew, this was only the beginning. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was living. And I was finally, undeniably, unstoppable. When news about my company's sudden rise hit the internet, my phone started buzzing non-stop. I stared at the screen, watching names I hadn't seen in months appear one after another. Lucas glanced at me. Old ghosts. Yeah, I muttered. People who never cared before. He smirked. Ignore them. You don't owe anyone anything. I know, I said, turning the phone face down. I'm not going back to that world. 4 days, I ignored the messages. Former classmates, co-workers, distant relatives, they all wanted something. Attention. Opportunity. Money. But then Lucas walked into my office with a strange look. You should hear this, he said. I raised a brow. What now? It's Adrian. My pulse slowed. What about him? His company is sinking. Investors are pulling out. Bad management, bad decisions, the whole thing is collapsing. I leaned back, expression neutral. Good for him. You don't care? No, I said flatly. Why should I? Lucas studied me. Because karma works fast, apparently. I shrugged, but a small part of me felt something. Not satisfaction. Not revenge. Just acknowledgement. The universe had its own way of balancing things. Later that night, as I reviewed a new contract, my phone buzzed again. This time, Lucas froze. Ethan, you might want to see this. He handed me the screen. My chest tightened. It was Lena. Lena Hart. Ethan, can we talk? Please. Lena Hart, it's important. Lena Hart, I need to see you. I clenched my jaw and put the phone away. Lucas whispered, you okay? I don't want to deal with her, I said quietly. Not yet. Not ever? I don't know. That was the truth. I wasn't scared of her. I wasn't in love with her. I just didn't trust what seeing her would do to the person I'd worked so hard to become. Days passed. Messages kept coming. Ethan, please. Just one conversation. I'm sorry. I ignored them all. But curiosity crept into my mind late at night. Why now? What does she want? What happened to the life she chose? I refused to ask. One afternoon, as I left the office, someone stepped in front of me. Ethan? I turned. My eyes widened slightly. Sophie? Sophie Lane, Lena's closest friend. The last person I expected to see. She exhaled. You look different. People change, I said carefully. What are you doing here? I came to warn you, she said, voice low. About what? Lena and Adrian. She bit her lip. Things aren't as perfect as they made it look. I raised a brow. I don't care about their relationship. You should care about what they are planning, she said. Especially now that you're successful. I felt a chill. Speak clearly, Sophie. She hesitated. Adrian's company is collapsing. He's in debt. And Lena, she's not happy. They're both desperate. Still not my problem, I said. It might become your problem, she whispered. Lena is trying to reach you because she thinks you might help her. I laughed softly. Help her? After everything? No. Sophie nodded. I expected that. But there's more. Adrian blames you. He says your company stole attention from his. He's angry. I stiffened. He's the one who betrayed me. Twice. His failure isn't my responsibility. I'm just telling you what I heard, Sophie said. Be careful. They're falling apart, and people who are falling apart make reckless choices. I crossed my arms. Why warn me? She hesitated again. Because, you didn't deserve what happened. And because Lena is lost. She doesn't know what she wants anymore. That's not my concern, I said quietly. Sophie nodded and stepped back. Then prepare yourself. The past is coming back, Ethan. And it's not coming quietly. I watched her walk away, my pulse steady but my mind uneasy. The storm I'd escaped was returning, and this time, I wasn't the broken one that I stepped off the train and felt the city's familiar chaos surround me. Every honking horn, every shouting vendor, it all felt the same, yet different. I was different. I had left broken. I returned, whole. Lucas's voice rang in my head. Remember why you're here. You're not the same man. I walked through the streets I once knew, ignoring stares. People whispered. Some recognized me. Some didn't. I didn't care. The building loomed ahead, the office where Lena had humiliated me months ago. I stopped for a moment, taking a breath. This is it. As I entered, silence swept through the room like a wave. Employees froze. Phones stopped mid-typing. I could feel the shift instantly. And then, Lena. She looked up from her desk, eyes wide. Her face paled. Ethan, she stammered, voice trembling. You're back. I didn't smile. Not yet. I let the silence stretch, let her absorb what she was seeing. The man she had discarded, confident, controlled, unmistakably powerful, stood before her. Adrian tried to mask his fear with a smile. Ethan, welcome back, he said, voice shaky. I studied him calmly. Adrian, I said evenly, still running things the old way, I see. He swallowed. Business has been challenging, he admitted, too quickly. I nodded slowly. I've heard. Lena bit her lip, glancing at him nervously. We didn't expect. You didn't expect me? I interrupted gently. I don't think you expected me to rise. Her eyes filled with something. Shock, guilt, fear. I didn't need to say more. My presence alone told the story of every day I had worked to rebuild, every lesson I had learned, every boundary I had set. I walked to the center of the room. I hear your company is struggling, I said, voice calm. I might be able to help, under certain conditions. Lena's hands trembled on her desk. Ethan. I raised a hand. Save your excuses. I'm not here for apologies. Adrian shifted uncomfortably. We would be grateful for your guidance, Ethan. I looked at him, steady and cold. Grateful? You left me to rot while you both chased what you wanted. I won't forget that. But I can make one decision that benefits everyone here, if it benefits me as well. Lena's voice cracked. I didn't realize. You never do, I said quietly. That's why people like me rise while people like you fall. The room remained silent. Employees glanced at each other, sensing the shift in power. I could feel their respect, not born from fear, but acknowledgement. I stepped closer to Lena. You thought I would never return, I said softly, but every word hit harder than any shout could. You thought I would stay broken. You were wrong. She looked down, unable to meet my eyes. I turned to leave, my footsteps echoing on the polished floor. Adrian followed, tentative. Ethan, we can talk terms? I didn't turn back. I'll consider it, I said, voice calm, leaving them in uncertainty. But remember, power respects those who earned it, not those who begged for it. As I walked out, the city outside felt alive again. I breathed deeply, savoring the moment. I was no longer the man she discarded. I had returned. Stronger. Wiser. Unstoppable. And she would never forget it. I stepped into the small cafe Clara Voss had requested. She waved me over, her expression tight, eyes flicking around as if someone might be listening. Ethan, she whispered when I sat, thank you for coming. What's so urgent? I asked, keeping my voice low. Clara leaned closer. It's Adrian. He's been manipulating everything. I raised a brow. What do you mean? She swallowed. He's been controlling Lena, forcing her to make decisions she didn't want to. And the company, he's been sabotaging it from the inside. He plans to take the money and run, leaving her with nothing. I felt my chest tighten. So Lena isn't the one in power anymore. No, Clara said, shaking her head. She's trapped by her own choices. Adrian made sure she couldn't see the truth until it was too late. I leaned back, trying to process it. And you're telling me this, why? Because you can help her, Clara said quietly. You've already risen. You see the situation clearly. You know what's fair and what's deserved. I let the words sink in. Lena, the woman who had broken me, who had humiliated me, was no longer untouchable. She was vulnerable. Ethan, Clara continued, I know what you're thinking. You hate her. You want to walk away. But this isn't about love anymore. It's about right and wrong. Adrian has left her in a trap. I clenched my fists. Anger, pity. I feel both. How do I decide what to do? Clara reached across the table. That's why I came to you. You need to decide if you're going to let karma run its course, or intervene. Lena doesn't deserve what's happening, even if she hurt you. I stared at her, conflicted. And Adrian? Adrian deserves everything coming to him, she said firmly. He's selfish, cruel, and reckless. He won't stop until he's caught or gone. You can't let him succeed. I took a deep breath. So she's not the villain anymore. She's a victim of him. Yes, Clara said. And she doesn't even realize it yet. You can help her, Ethan. Or you can let the storm play out. I ran a hand through my hair, feeling the weight of the choice pressing down. If I step in, what do I gain? Clara's eyes softened. Nothing for you personally. But you'll be the man you became, the one who doesn't just watch destruction happen. The one who acts when it matters. I looked down at my hands. I've worked too hard to be broken again. I've risen for myself, not for anyone else. Clara nodded. Exactly. That's why it matters. You decide who you are, not the past. I stared out the window, watching the city bustle. Lena, trapped, confused, desperate. Adrian, scheming, greedy, dangerous. Clara, I said finally, voice steady, I'll see what I can do. But I'm not saving her for her sake. I'm saving her for mine, for what's fair. She smiled faintly, relief washing over her features. That's all she needs right now. The truth to guide her. I nodded silently, knowing this would be complicated. Emotional. Dangerous. But necessary. As I left the cafe, I felt a strange clarity. Lena's fall wasn't my choice, but Adrian's manipulation had created a situation I couldn't ignore. Karma was at work, yes, but I wasn't done shaping the outcome yet. The storm was coming, and I would meet it head-on, stronger, smarter, and completely in control. That I walked into the office early, the morning sun casting long shadows across the polished floor. Noah was already there, laptop open, his fingers flying over the keys. Everything's ready? I asked. Noah glanced up. All systems go. Marcus is on the call to coordinate the investors. Adrian won't see this coming. I nodded, a cold satisfaction settling over me. Good. Let's end this. By mid-morning, the investors were in the room, papers and digital reports spread out in front of them. Marcus spoke first. Gentlemen, you've been misled. Adrian Voss has been falsifying financial reports, embezzling funds, and hiding liabilities. Adrian, seated at the far end, tried to interject. That's preposterous. These claims are. I leaned forward, voice calm but sharp. Not preposterous. Facts, Adrian. All documented. Noah, show them. Noah's screen displayed every proof, emails, transfers, hidden accounts, manipulated numbers. Silence fell over the room like a storm cloud. This can't be real, Adrian stammered. It's real, Marcus said firmly. And now it's all exposed. Your company, your reputation, your lies, they collapse today. Adrian turned to Lena, eyes pleading. Lena, you have to believe me. She shook her head, voice trembling. I don't know what to believe anymore. I watched silently, feeling nothing but clarity. The man who had tried to control everything was unraveling before my eyes. I didn't need to shout, I didn't need to threaten. My presence, my calm, my success, did all the work. Adrian's face turned red. Ethan, you can't do this. I already did, I said quietly. And it wasn't personal. It's justice. Karma works without effort when the truth is clear. He sank into his chair, defeated, staring at the ruins of everything he built. Lena turned to me then, tears in her eyes. Ethan. I didn't know. I made a mistake, she whispered, voice cracking. I should have seen. I held her gaze, but I said nothing. Silence carried more weight than words ever could. I thought I wanted Adrian, but I see now. I was wrong, she admitted, voice breaking further. I never should have. I looked away, turning toward the window. The city stretched out beneath me, full of possibilities, and I felt the freedom I had fought for. My heart was steady. My mind clear. Noah leaned over. They're destroyed. Your part is done. I know, I said. It doesn't feel like victory. It feels final. Correct. Marcus nodded. You didn't touch her. You didn't need to. Life did it for you. I allowed a small, almost imperceptible smile. Exactly. Revenge doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to hurt others unnecessarily. It just shows them who they chose and what they lost. Lena wiped her tears, voice shaking. I thought I had control. I didn't realize. You never had control over me, I said softly, almost a whisper. You had choices. I had actions. That made all the difference. She flinched slightly at my calmness, the quiet force behind my words. Adrian groaned, running his hands through his hair. Ethan. Nothing to say, I interrupted. Everything has been said already, through the truth, through your own failures. Lena looked at me one last time, searching for the man she knew. I wasn't him. Not anymore. The broken, desperate boy she left behind was gone. I turned, walking toward the door. Every step was deliberate. I didn't look back. Behind me, the world I once lost was shattered. And I walked forward, whole, powerful, and untouchable. The past tried to reach me, tried to pull me into old pain. But I didn't chase revenge. I let life do it quietly, beautifully, perfectly. And that was enough. I stepped into the quiet room where Lena was waiting, her eyes red from crying, her hands fidgeting nervously. Ethan, please, she began, voice shaking, I need to apologize. I held up a hand. Stop. She blinked, confused. What do you mean? I said calmly, I don't need your apology. Not anymore. Her lips trembled. But I hurt you. I betrayed you. I shook my head. You hurt a version of me that no longer exists. That man is gone. I don't live there anymore. Silence fell. She looked as if she were searching for the boy she once knew. I smiled faintly, almost gently. I came back, I continued, not to destroy you. Not to make you suffer. I came back to prove to myself that I wasn't weak. That the man you left behind isn't the man I am today. Lena's voice wavered. Ethan. I didn't know. I know, I said quietly. And I don't need to hear excuses. Life taught me lessons you'll never understand unless you've walked in my shoes. She fell silent, tears sliding down her cheeks. I looked at her and felt neither hatred nor anger, only calm certainty. Lucas appeared in the doorway. Everything okay? He asked. Yes, I said. Perfectly okay. Noah, Marcus, and Maya arrived behind him, each giving me a nod. They had been part of my journey, the people who stayed when everyone else left. The people who mattered. Maya stepped forward. You've changed him, Ethan, she said softly. And not just in business. In life. I glanced at her, feeling warmth in my chest. We all changed together, I replied. Marcus added, you didn't just rise, you transformed. Noah smiled faintly. And Lena, she's learning that her choices have consequences. I turned back to Lena. I forgive you, not for you, but for me. I forgive you because I no longer need to carry the weight of what happened. She stared at me, stunned, unsure of what to say. I don't need your love. I don't need your apology. I don't need validation from someone who left me when I needed them most, I said, voice steady. What I need is life, and I found it. Strength, peace, purpose. Her tears fell silently, and I felt a strange pang, not regret, not longing, but understanding. She was part of my past, not my present. I took a step back. I walk away from this, I said, not angry, not bitter, not broken. I walk away because I am whole. Because I am stronger than the version of me you left behind. Lena whispered, almost a plea, Ethan, please, stay. I shook my head gently. I can't. I didn't come back for you. I came back for me. And now, I am unstoppable. I looked at the faces around me, Maya, Lucas, Marcus, Noah, and felt a sense of belonging I had never known before. The storm of betrayal, the fire of revenge, the pain of heartbreak, it had all led me here. Maya stepped closer. Where will you go now? I smiled faintly. Forward. Always forward. This city, this life, it's mine to shape. Every choice, every decision, mine. Noah grinned. And we're coming with you, right? Of course, I said. This isn't just my journey anymore. It's ours. Lena's gaze lingered on me, searching for the boy she once discarded. She wouldn't find him. Not here. Not now. I turned fully, walking toward the door. Each step was measured, confident, calm, certain. I didn't glance back. Outside, the sunlight hit my face. The city buzzed with life, possibility stretching endlessly before me. I inhaled deeply. Freedom, power, clarity, peace. No one could touch me now. Not betrayal. Not heartbreak. Not regret. I had built myself from the ashes of the past. I had become the man I was always meant to be. And Lena? She would remember me, not as the boy she left, not as the man she tried to control, but as the one she lost. I didn't need her to see it. I felt it in every fiber of my being. I walked forward, leaving the past behind. Stronger. Wiser. Unstoppable. The storm had ended. And I had won, not through revenge, not through anger, but by becoming the man I was always meant to be. I was finally free.